This is the big question of the century. What is it to be a father? What is it to be a mother? So there's 1,000 things that you do as a parent. That's not what being a parent is all about. You have to pay the bills, you have to give them clothing, you have to give them food, you have to cook, you have to that. That's part of the relate. That's not what it is. It's like the one thing that you have to do for your children that nobody else in the world can do is boost and build their self-esteem and say, I believe in you. It's really your whole job. In fact, every kid in the world would rather have that and don't feed me. I'll eat garbage. This is the most important thing for them. You have people who suffer their whole lives because they didn't hear that from their parents. And we didn't hear it from our parents because of a Holocaust. I don't know how it is with you guys. You guys are different. I had a Syrian parent here, and she said, by the Syrian community, by my community, I have it recorded. I'll send you the recording. She goes, everybody's like, my kid, my Ike, and they're so proud of their kids, okay? Watch this. Raise your hand if you're not Syrian. Okay, keep your hand up if your parents are from Europe. Okay, if you ever heard that from your parents, keep your hand up. Like, my kid is amazing. Ta-da! Holocaust trauma, basically, for everybody. And that's all they want to hear. You're amazing. You're amazing. If they do well in school, guess what? That's nice. Nice for you. Nice for you. But actually, the kids doing well don't need to hear it as much because they feel kind of good about themselves. In camp, they always have like races, right? You have like 10 kids racing. And everybody's applauding the one who's in the front. Yeah, Chaim's winning, right? He doesn't need your freaking applause. He feels really good about himself. It's the kid in the back going like this. You know, he needs the applause because he's going to drown. He feels like giving up. He feels like, well, what am I here for? That's the kid that needs even more. But every kid, and it's free. It's free. How many of you ever had your parents say, I'm so proud of you, and recorded it and keep it? A lot of people keep it. They heard it like on the deathbed, you know, like it was a big deal from where we come from. Don't take it for granted. That's your whole job. I believe in you. I like you. I like you. I like you. Now, you have to do chinuch. That never means to take away all of that. Within the context of I like you, and I think you're good, and you're nice, and you have tremendous qualities, you could parent. You could do anything you want. You could take the kid's face and you can bash it in the wall, and that's totally fine by me. If the kid knows my father thinks, my mother thinks I'm great, they like me, you know, it doesn't matter. Everybody thinks like, oh, you know, so what is parenting? What is punishment? Anything that does not take away the NKN. Anything that doesn't diminish the connection. And kids are very sensitive. So you can't really bash their face in the wall. Right? But you also can't even insult them. You also can't even look at them with those. Right? Isn't it? Feel like, what can we do? So my father didn't have parents. When he walked down the aisle, he was walked down by Reb Shmuel David Walken and his Rebbitzin, he met them in Shanghai. A very chashuva Litvisha Rosh Hashiva tzaddik who grew up by the Chafetz Chaim. You ever heard of the Chafetz Chaim? Chabad, no idea. Chafetz Chaim, people. So, and he said, he told my father this, and this is years ago. He said, you know, when I was a little kid, 6, 7, 8 years old, I was mishares my father. I was a shamish. I had to go get his shoes by him, and I would sit there and be scared like anything, pour him and bring him his slippers and everything, you know, and I got, maybe if I was good, I got a candy. If not, I got a Zetz. Right? I was a slave to my father, but I always knew one day I'm going to have my kids. I'll be king. And then I came to America. And now I'm a slave to my children. Welcome to America. That's the way it is. So chinuch is anything you could punish, as long as it doesn't disconnect the NKN. And then you'll see that you can't be wild, you can't scream, you can't put down. That's not chinuch, that's not education. Education is telling child within the context of you're amazing. But if you have to do one thing in your life with your children, it's I believe in you. And the worse they are, the more they need to hear it. I believe it. And they will always remember, no matter how bad I was, my father, my mother, they believed in me. They saw I was struggling, I was challenged. They believed in me. They liked me. They liked being around. Now, I know some of your kids from knowing them or pictures of them, whatever. I would not want to be with them. They are smelly, rotten, dirty kids. But you're stuck because they're yours. And if you don't make them feel that I like you and you're good, then they will find other people who make them feel like that. And it ain't pretty. And it's like, oy, oy, oy. That's what we're up against. There's a hole in their heart, and either you're going to fill it, or they will find somebody else who will. And that's what we're doing. That's what you're doing. This is the whole secret of what we're doing. You want to hear something funny? It's cute. Okay? I got a call from new parents. So they say, okay, so we this is their story, Nebuch, terrible, terrible story. I mean, that part is not funny. What's going on in their family, I mean, it's terrible. 4 out of 4 kids, suicidal, and off the derech is the least of their problems right now. Well, suicidal and trauma and terrible, terrible story. And she's like, so we're interested in getting guidance, but so is it true that you say that we should buy our kids drugs, buy them alcohol, buy them pornography, and we should just let them do whatever they want? Is that basically what you're going to tell us to do? So I said, I never looked at it that way. Like, I never really, you don't mind being on camera? That's fine. You're very photogenic. Otherwise, you go around that way. I said, I never looked at it that way. I said, think about a little deeper. I don't want to be insulting to them, like, stupid idiot. But no, I didn't say that. I was like, a little deeper. Why? He said, why? I said, we are anti-drugs. We are anti-alcohol. We are anti-porn. Do I have to say this? Is this something that I need to, should I have a big sign? We are anti-pornography. We're anti-sin. We are anti... The reason why we don't fight the kids on it and support them is because, and if it's a halacha shaila, always have to say this, it goes through your Rav. But the reason we don't fight them is because then they feel like we understand them, and then they stop. We don't do this because we wanted to continue. We do this because we wanted to stop. And statistically, we are doing really, really well as a group. We're really doing well. We don't have one. I don't think we have one. So let's call it 99% in case there's one that I don't know about. TP parent that has an alcoholic, homeless person. And there are many of them out there. And we have so many kids who we bought alcohol for, and we did things, and we embraced bad behavior, and they stopped it. That's why we do it. They're either going to feel falerin, all alone in the world, and they will find it from someone else and think that they are my provider who cares about me. You know who cares about me? My drug dealer, because he always, in 5 minutes, brings me drugs. My parents? No, they don't like me. They don't care about me. That's ridiculous. You would die for them. So how do you have this misunderstanding? This is what we have to fix. So that's the point of what we're doing here. Clear? Very clear. And if we disconnect it at some point in the name of whatever, now we got to get rid of the dirt, pull the knives out. I sent it around this week, the excerpt of pulling the knife out, very important. And we got to reconnect and party and have a great time.